What is going on, Commander fans? Welcome to Taking Command with Josh Taylor. And as you can see, I got my boy Rio joining me because we got a lot to talk about this painful game that we got to witness in person at FedEx Field. So, Rio, let's get right to it.
Let's do it.
Rio, it was a painful game, but the vibes were immaculate.
Always.
Just tell the people who missed out how good it was being at FedEx this weekend. Because we go to a lot of games. And for me, this one just kind of hit different.
It did hit different. It was, first of all, the Vikings fans, they showed up just as much as the Eagles fans did when they came in week 3.
Yeah.
And also our Washington fan, I don't know if it was the news that Dan is selling this team. That stadium was packed yesterday. The atmosphere was crazy. I had an amazing time at the stadium. Not a big drinker. I was absolutely trashed yesterday.
You was in the suites. That's what
I had an amazing time at the game yesterday. The tailgate was cool. You know what I'm saying? Washington ended up Washingtoning. That's what the result of the game ended up being. But I had a great time. I had a great time at the stadium. I'm glad you and your pops enjoyed the seats.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. For sure, it was a good time. There was good people all around us. But for me, it did feel like it was a celebration. I knew there was going to be a lot of people there, but I think people were like the mood was higher than it usually is. And there was a lot of Vikings fans. I was kind of surprised. I was telling him, I was like, I don't know how many Viking fans actually travel like this, but they showed out. They had a lot of big time fans. But like you said, man, it's just I hate with the high expectations going to the game, and it happens every Sunday. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the game we're going to win that we're not supposed to win. And we had it. Of course, we lose 20-17, but it just felt like this was that one game that we were going to just steal away from the Vikings, get out of there, just ruin the whole Kevin O'Connell, Kirk Cousins, homecoming, all this local media talk, hyping them up all week long. And it seems like it never goes our way. So obviously we have a lot to talk about with Heinicke, the quarterback situation. But let's start on a high before we get low. Let's talk about this defense that is balling out, whether it's the D-line, whether it's Jamin Davis growing as that linebacker we've been waiting for.
Shout out to Maggie Jack. Jack got that defense humming right now, bro. He got that defense humming. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. That defense is going crazy. This is the second seed in the NFC that we're playing, and with 10 minutes left in the game, they had 7 points on the board. So that should tell you everything you need to know about how good this defense is playing. And we got guys in their second year taking strides. Jamin Davis and Benjamin St-Juste are growing and ascending right before our eyes, and you love to see it, man.
Yeah, and they were confident with St-Juste just putting him on Justin Jefferson off the rip. And, of course, that first drive, he went down, and I was like, oh, man, this is going to be a long day if this is what Jefferson's doing all day.
Oh, we knew he was hitting that gritty yesterday. With a busters.
When I seen him come out with them future goggles on, I was like, yo, what the hell is this man doing? I say he about to either do nothing or he's going to have like 300 yards. But I'm just saying, like, St-Juste balled out. Say what you want about that pick six that got called back with the flag, whether if it was a flag or not, regardless, he was balling out.
Play. But
I looked at next gen stats and I saw something that was crazy. So the league average of separation by a wide receiver this year is 2.92 yards away from his DB. Justin Jefferson only had 1.89 yards of separation on St-Juste. So he was locked in on him all game long. Like, he was right there hip for hip with him. Punched that one out.
I was all for Benjamin St-Juste guarding Justin Jefferson until they put Jefferson in the slot. As soon as I saw St-Juste in front of him in the slot, I was like, oh, uh-oh. And that's when they hit him with the long slot fade in the end of the fourth quarter, and it set up another touchdown by the Vikings. I knew that was going to be barbecue chicken immediately, bro. There's a big difference of getting him on the outside and getting him on the inside, bro. That leverage in them hips, he was just not able to hang with him, bro. He got that immediate separation.
He got all that room in the field to just do what he wants. I honestly think you can make the argument he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. Obviously, Cooper Kupp's up there. Jamar Chase is up there. You got some ballers. But I think Justin Jefferson's the number one in the league right now. He leads in the league, I don't know if after yesterday, but in yards. But Kirk Cousins was on his tail a bunch. You got to give him credit. He got hit a lot. There was some, like, that one point, like the third, fourth quarter, He struggled getting up for a while. I was like, oh, yo, he's toast. I was like,
he
he's
came
done.
out for a couple plays. I was like, damn, I hope Kirk not hurt, man, because that's still my guy. I don't want to see Kirk get hurt, man.
That's the thing. Like, I don't understand why people still have like this weird feeling about him too. Like, even those people around me were like booing him and stuff. I'm like, bro, he was like a 5th round pick. It's not like a franchise guy we had that just like left us.
And was the most consistent quarterback we've had in 22 years. Meanwhile, they treat this mid-ass XFL backup quarterback like he's the messiah of football when he can't throw a 15-yard out route.
Yeah, so let's talk about quarterbacks. And you and me both. First off, I hate when people say, "Oh, Sam Howell is only like he's a 5th round pick. He's not going to do anything." But Taylor Heinicke is a 30-year-old undrafted free agent XFL quarterback, and you hold him to a higher standard.
XFL backup quarterback. He didn't even start. Yes. He backed up Jordan Ta'amu in the XFL, bro.
Hey, shout out Jordan Ta'amu. But I'm like, I hate this excuse that he was a 5th round pick. Like, I can say Tom Brady was a 5th round pick, but obviously I'm not going to compare him to Tom Brady. But like I said, Kirk Cousins, he is you maybe not a franchise guy, but he is a starting quarterback who does a good job for the Minnesota Vikings. Like, if you get Kirk Cousins out of Sam Howell, I'll be ecstatic. Like,
I'd be ecstatic too. And I think him being a 5th round pick is why you do put him in a game. You don't have to pamper him, pacify him, or treat him like he is the future. It is purely an audition. What do you have? Are you going to be our future backup, or are you going to make it a hard conversation for us when May comes around, when we get on the clock in the 1st round?
When we got the new owner, the new GM, the new head coach.
Hell yeah, when we got a whole new regime here, are you going to make it hard on them and give them something that they need to consider when it comes draft time? Or are you going to be a career backup? All I know is we've seen enough of Carson and Taylor. We know exactly who they are. Why don't we see what we have in the rookie? Because I don't know how much more of Taylor Heinicke I can watch, bro.
It's rough. And I'm just saying, in April, we're going to be strutting our shit in Kansas City at the draft with our new owner, our new GM, new head coach.
With our Rock Nation shit on.
I'm going to be up in there with Jay-Z, Jeff Bezos.
Matt McConaughey trying to get in on the sale now, too.
Kevin Durant. I'm sure Dale Earnhardt Jr., he going to be up in here any second now, too. We're going to have the whole thing. Joe Gibbs is going to buy some probably.
Rock boys in the building tonight.
I know. Look,
let's go.
The sky's the limit. But I agree with you, man. It's tough. And I said it today on Twitter, and I'm being conservative with it. Like, I am not mad if we play Carson Wentz a couple more games when he comes back. Because if we still have a shot at the playoffs, like, I at least want a chance to, like, upset some teams in the playoffs, at least make a run. At least have a chance. Would you rather just miss the playoffs or like be a wild card team and play like a crappy, maybe Tampa Bay or maybe San Francisco 49ers 1st round? Like, I would still take that all day.
The way I feel is how I always feel. I either want to make the playoffs or I don't want to be nowhere near making the playoffs. I don't want to miss the playoffs by a game or two. That is going to be continued purgatory. I want us to get a wild card, or I want us to go 4-13. I want us to go 5-12. Like, bro, I don't
win in the Super Bowl. We got a top 5 pick.
Yeah, bro. Like, I mean, we already getting the Super Bowl because Dan's selling. You know what I'm saying? That's the equivalent to a ring in modern day Washington.
We gonna have a parade regardless.
Hell yeah, we party and orgies in the street. But you know what I'm saying? I want us to make the playoffs, but I don't.
But like, what's the chances we really will? And I had a lot of people on Twitter tell me this yesterday, and this pissed me off too, saying that all 4 NFC East teams are making the playoffs. There's 7 teams in the playoffs in the NFC, and you really think, like, statistically, with us losing to every NFC East team, which it seems very likely to happen,
multiple conference games.
Yeah, there's no way in hell all 4 NFC East teams are going to make the playoff. There's no way.
No way.
San Francisco's likely going to get hot. Seattle's probably going to win that division, or San Francisco will, and Seattle will get the wild card. And then, I mean, you just never know. There's statistically no way all 4 of us are going to the playoffs. So you can throw that out the window. Do you see us beating the Giants twice and the Cowboys or Eagles one more time?
We're not beating the Eagles.
No.
We may have a shot versus Dallas. And
I don't even know about that.
We will split with the Giants. Bro, we going.
Dude, Dallas's defense is so good. Our offense, and I hate to say it, and I'll get roasted for this, but I'll say it. Our offense has a better chance of beating good teams with Carson Wentz than with Taylor Heinicke.
Oh, it's true. You shouldn't get roasted for saying that, because you should not get roasted for saying that. But to be perfectly honest, like, I'm cool, bro. I went in the team store yesterday. They had a full size running 2 racks of Carson Wentz black jerseys, bro. If you needed a black jersey, they got Carson. They might as well been giving them shits away. Them shits probably going in one of them boxes and going to the needy kids after the Super Bowl. That's what those jerseys look. They didn't look like one was picked up off the rack yesterday. I know Ronald Eugene Rivera is going to put Carson Wentz back in it.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't go out and get the guy, give him that ton of money, and like just use him to the max. Honestly,
if we lose our second round pick due to his usage, though, I will never forgive Ron or say another good thing about him, because that would be like malpractice and malfeasance, and I can never forgive that. You better make sure he doesn't hit that threshold of 70% a game, meaning he needs to miss 6 and not just 4. But I can see Ron putting him back in as soon as he's cleared in a couple weeks.
But I mean, he's not going to play against the Eagles. I don't see him playing against the Texans. So worst case, say we just get stomped by the Eagles.
Texans would be so perfect to roll out how, bro. I'm
saying their defense isn't that good and their offense isn't that good either. If you can stop Dameon Pierce, which our defense can do, it's just our offense has been so bad, and it's against the Bears defense, who really isn't all that good. Miami just hung a ton up on them, and they've been allowing some big points. They have some good players, but so what? The Packers, who are literally can't win a game to save their lives right now, and the Lions just beat them with like half their team missing.
The Colts, who
just hired an ESPN analyst, retired center,
interim coach,
a high school head coach. I love Jeff Saturday, but still.
Irsay off the rock right now, man.
So, like, and the thing is, like, our defense won those games and our wide receivers won those games. There's nothing, we can't really run the ball right now either, which no one's really talking about. Our running offense really isn't there.
But you let fans tell it. Heinicke won those games, and that's the most annoying part about
that shit. Gets me frustrated. I'm like, don't you dare take credit away from Terry or Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, or Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Jamin Davis, who's balling now. Like, bro, it's disgusting. It's very Tim Tebow fanaticism. Like,
dude,
Taylor Heinicke, sick of
my mama, I thought about that at work tonight. I was like, yo, this guy is legit a NFL like version of Tim Tebow. He's not the college version where Tim Tebow is actually good. Like, he can't throw. And people said, oh, he can go through his progressions. He can do all that just fine. Ron Rivera said in the press conference, yeah, he had his 2 guys. His main read underneath was wide open, but he decided to throw it deep to Logan because he didn't go through his reads. The coach is even saying he can't go through his reads. And I said, like, I don't want this guy picking our next head coach. And people are like, oh, well, he's preaching and what he said. He was. I'm glad that he at least came out and said, yo, Taylor, like, he shouldn't have thrown that interception. That was bad. But then, as soon as he said Taylor played well, I stopped reading that shit. I was like, ain't no way. No way this guy's evaluating my next quarterback.
I'm sick of watching Ron press conferences at this point, because everything I hear from him just sounds like a loser coach. Like, respect to the guy, respect to Ron the human. Ron is not a good head coach at all in this league. He's a 7-win guy. That's all. He's only been over 7 wins 3 times of the 12 years he's been a head coach in this league. Ron cannot manage time to save his freaking life. We need to hire a coach to call challenges and timeouts for this man.
Dude, I thought we hired like some analytics team or something like last year. I don't know what the hell they doing.
They're not doing their job, bro.
They up in the suite drinking. But so the Eagles game, awful time management. Didn't challenge the Devontae Smith catch.
Yep.
Then the Titans game, awful game managing at the end. You're, at the goal line and you can't run the ball because you
challenged that bullshit Cam Sims. Was not a catch.
And then this game, a second and would have been it was 2nd 10. Heinicke ran whatever. Would have been a 3rd and 1. He's like, oh no, he picked it up. Challenge it. A pointless what in the 3rd quarter, a couple minutes left or whatever. You challenge the fact that it's not a 3rd and 1. It should be a 1st down. Either you have zero confidence in the offense of picking up a 1st down, which they did, by the way, with the Armani Rogers end round, which I didn't expect at all. It was like 24, 25-yard gain.
Beautiful.
Like, you picked it up, but you're challenging. You don't want a 3rd and 1? Like, bro, come on. How are you going to waste a timeout? because you want a 3rd and 1 to be a
Yeah,
first
we
down
went
run.
into the 4th quarter with 1 timeout. I was sick, bro.
I knew as soon as that shit happened, like all the guys around me, like, no, he did not just do that. Like,
Yep.
what is he challenging? We were confused. Like, what is he challenging?
Yeah, man, that's good old Ronald Eugene. And speaking of 3rd and 1, the 4th and 1 call Scott Turner made to run a play action boot pass on their side of the field, like we don't have a mobile quarterback and 230-pound quarterback. That was one of the more head-scratching decisions this regime has ever made, and all they do is make head-scratching decisions.
Bruh, I'm one of the worst play callers on Madden, but I feel like I could pick that up much better than Scott Turner. I mean, that it's just there's no reason for it. Yes, Heinicke is trash. Bring in Sam Howell, for God's sake. I agree. But I honestly think the Texans would be a good game. But I feel like we don't have a bye week for like 10 more weeks. Like this is the worst scheduling we could have.
Isn't it like week 14 is our bye week or something crazy?
Yeah, like week 16 this season. Like what the heck? That fake screen QB draw was the Scott Turner class. Yes. Makes no sense. Why? I mean, at least put like Logan Thomas in at quarterback to just sneak it up. Just
are you talking about the QB draw on 3rd down? Yo, that Joe had me weak in the
between that, and there was one play they tried to do a John Bates screen.
Green, yep.
Bro, John Bates, first off, I was talking about that at work today too. I don't know why you drafted this guy in the 3rd round. He's not good. He can't catch either. He's had more drops than anything in his career. Like, no offense to the guy. I can't wait to see Cole Turner. But like, what are we doing? And the thing is, the play calling wasn't bad all the game because I remember sitting there in every single play, like he had a quick option to go to.
Yeah, as bad as Scott was, I watched open receivers pop open all day.
Dude,
it just
Curtis Samuel couldn't do it. If there's anything on the right side, and I feel like they've mentioned this before, he does not look to the right. Taylor Heinicke does it. He does it. Curtis Samuel's like, and then he sits there and like shuffles it like a dump, like an option screen to who was like B-Rob on like late in the game. I'm like, or is it him or Gibson? I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like you have quick options open. Why are you like lateraling the ball with the lead? And
the wheel route up the left sideline to, I believe it was John Bates in the 4th quarter, where he was wide open and probably would have scored.
That flea flicker 6 times.
that missed pass, that one was as egregious as the interception he threw.
Bro, that hit some poor kid in the 2nd row on the left sideline.
Bro,
I don't know where it was going.
He was wide open, and
which
probably
should never happen for Minnesota's defense.
Exactly.
Like, how do you let him get that open?
That guy, exactly.
And then the interception we talked about. That was the 2nd longest throw of the day. Was that interception, which he overthrew the tallest guy we have on the team,
6'6",
and he had a clean pocket. You put the picture up. I took it, shared it in a couple things. I was like, yo. He had a clean pocket. He does not set his base. He jumps around the pocket. He does not have good mechanics. And someone told me, oh, we need to let him, like, if this was a rookie, y'all would say, oh, he just needs time. Like, why don't we
He's 30.
Like, hey, bro, he's older than me. I'm almost 30. And like, that's the thing. Like, he has been through the growing pains. There is no ceiling beyond what you see.
Has been with Scott in Minnesota, Carolina, and Washington. He has at least 4, almost 5 years in this offense, and they still got training wheels on him. That should tell you all you need to know about Taylor Heinicke and what this coaching staff thinks of him. They spent the whole offseason telling you, thank you for your services, but we had to go upgrade. Yeah. There's a reason for it, bro.
And it's not nothing against him. Like, once again, I'm not saying he's the option, but there is tons. You can ask me and Rio both, who phone blows up. I can show you so many bad DMs I get on a daily basis. Just people like defending that he is the future. And they're so quick to shoot down Sam Howell, who they haven't seen yet, by the way.
Because they are afraid he's going to come in and look better than this mid-ass backup XFL quarterback experiment that people love so much. Heart, guts, and cojones can go but so far in this league, bro. You need physical ability to play quarterback in the NFL at the end of the day. Ask Timothy Tebow.
Exactly. And I'll even say, like, he has some traits to himself that Taylor Heinicke has that fans love. Like, you remember that preseason game where he's rolling around, he's making things happen, he's got some magic in him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are allowed to like Sam Howell and Taylor Heinicke. That is okay. You don't have to pick one quarterback. I support all of them, but I'll call Carson Wentz out on his BS when he sucks.
Yeah, man.
And if Sam Howell sucks, I'll call him out on it too.
Too many of these fans want to date Heinicke and marry him to their daughters, bro. Y'all need to hop off that man meat and be objective, bro. I'm sorry. Like I'm sick of it, bro. These sycophantic, obsessive, high faction ass fans need to relax and just fan the team, because ultimately players come and go. We're the ones that are here, bro. Support the team, support the players, but stop having favoritism over these players. I don't care who's out there they're producing. I've seen Carson and I've seen Taylor this year. Neither played winning football. So why not put option C in the game and see what Sam Howell has? Because I watched that boy play college football, and I know what he's capable of. I watched him at camp as well. He gets the ball out faster and processes faster than both of the guys ahead of him on the roster. So I'm just saying.
That's the one thing that I prefer, like, about Sam, is he has a quick release. He is not afraid to get the safe route and let his guys just cook in the open field. Curtis Samuel would love this man. Terry McLaurin would love this man.
Receivers would actually get a chance to turn and run. Taylor, he completed 15 passes yesterday. Probably 7 of them, the receiver had to wait for the ball because they hang in the air in slow motion, and it's like a rainbow lollipop drop every time he completes a pass, bro. It looks like it hurt him to throw that prayer up to Curtis for a touchdown. It looked like he was throwing a damn javelin. Like, he put his whole soul into that prayer. There was 4
laid out on the
area. Thank God for Curtis Samuel, because I don't know, that was a terrible decision, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was an awful decision.
He wouldn't even have broke 100 yards if it wasn't for that play.
Against a bottom tier passing defense in the league. Yep. And the reason why the Vikings aren't going to go far in the playoffs, because somebody's going to cook them through the air. It'd probably be Philadelphia.
Yep.
But the thing is, they will still come back and say, well, at least he gave his wide receiver a chance. Bro. And say what you want about PFF, but this is why they have turnover-worthy throws, because it's saying, hey, your quarterback makes terrible decisions and he throws some passes he's not supposed to. But thank God you've got Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, whoever, going up and catching these passes. I mean, I can show you last year when he went 7-9 with the guy as starting quarterback. No, I'm not counting the COVID game either. 7-9. You're not winning games with them. You'll win a couple of mediocre games against some shitty quarterbacks or some very bad teams like the Bears and Colts and the Packers, who are just, like I said, just can't do anything right.
Dumpster fire.
But it is okay to want better. You do not have to settle on a guy that had a crazy good touchdown in a game we lost, by the way, against the Bucs in that play.
They're just in love with the personality, bro. Like, cool. I would love to have a beer with Taylor Heinicke. He's not even like, people like to say he's a great top of the league backup. I don't even think he's that. I think he's an average backup. He's an average to solid backup quarterback who should never have to start for more than 2 games for you, or you're in big trouble, because he's limited. He's limited. He's a slow processor. He can't throw outside the numbers. He cuts your playbook at least a fourth to in half because he cannot make the throws required, bro. And I need to see. Sam comes from a pro-style system, bro. Even if he's not ready, he's a 5th-round pick. I've watched Bailey Zappi win a football game this year. I've watched Skylar Thompson come in and play football this year. Why can't we see Sam Howell play football, bro?
And I won't say they're the same guy, but the Titans literally rolled out Malik Willis, who didn't even throw it that much last night, and still almost won against the Chiefs. Because they have a good defense and they have King Henry. Mm-hmm. Like, put trust in your team. I think to a certain extent, like, your quarterback, like, just has to, like, not be bad. And that's the thing with Taylor. There's moments where he is just straight up bad.
Terrible.
And he doesn't have the home run ability to make up for it unless it is a crazy play that should never have happened with the Terry McLaurin or the Curtis Samuel. If it's not for that Curtis Samuel play, what are you hanging on to yesterday?
There's nothing. There's nothing.
What play? Tell me one play that you remember that was exciting on offense.
the reverse star, Marnie Rod.
That's it. Bro, I watched every single play, 30, 40 yards in front of me. I cannot remember another play that stood out. That's it. It was just like, 5-yard gain. Oh, he got hit. Oh, incomplete pass. All right, let's do it again. All right, defense. And by the way, Dalvin Cook had 17 carries for 47 yards. The only big play he had was that wheel route where he
cooked Cam Curl.
Yeah, love Cam Curl. He's balling.
Cam Curl on that joint, bro. Shout out to Cam. He balling this year, but Dalvin Cook cooked him for real on that route. Oh my God.
So Dalvin's good, but this defense is getting wasted. I hate to say it, and I take back everything bad I said about Jack Del Rio. As soon as I love that shirt. As soon as William Jackson came off the field, this defense said, finally, we don't have a liability at corner. We got St. Juice, Wild Goose, and Fuller started playing better too. He hasn't had a bad game since he came off the field. So no coincidence. Good luck, Pittsburgh. But it's sad seeing these guys go wasted. And I'm going to ask you finally, what do we do with Daron Payne? We talked about it before the season.
Sign him. Give him an extension right now, bro. That law firm of Allen and Payne, bro, it can't be broken up, bro. Them boys meet in the backfield every play of the game. They had Kirk Cousins so uncomfortable, bro. If you watched the game and you didn't just look at the final score, you wouldn't realize that the Vikings, the second best team in the NFC, with 10 minutes to go, had 7 points on the board. They only had 7 points on the board because Allen, Payne, and Jamin Davis were having parties in the backfield and in Kirk's lap the entire game. Daron Payne looks unstoppable up front. I changed my tune completely. Pay him. I'm picking him over Sweat. I'm picking him over Sweat, bro.
Honestly, yeah, because it's really hard to go find an impactful, interior D lineman off the rip. You can draft a high edge guy this year, Isaiah Foskey, Will Anderson.
Jack is finally stunning them right. Yeah. They're scheming them up right. These boys are making this D line is becoming what we dreamed it would be when we drafted all these damn first round defensive linemen all these years in a row, and we haven't even seen him yet.
He's not even out there yet. If you're telling me, hey, we're gonna send Chase Young out there and possibly injure him again with this D line, but we're gonna have Heinicke on offense, that's disrespectful. I don't care how someone said, oh, well, the team plays for him. No, they play for the love of football because this is what they've worked their whole lives for.
And he gets them hyped up because everyone loves an underdog story. We've seen Rudy. Everybody loves a good underdog story, but the team rallies around him. Ain't but so far heart and balls are.
Like how many points you get off of that?
Yeah, bro. We scoring 20 is like cracking the Da Vinci Code for this football team right now. And the guy who touches the ball every play is the majority of the reason why we can't score 20.
Yep. I mean, the home run ability that you need in the NFL to be able to just crack a game wide open and take a lead, it's not there. Not saying Wentz is that good, but he can at least do that to Donnie Brown, Jahan Dotson when he comes back, Terry McLaurin. He can at least push the field and get it down the field in a heartbeat, and that's what you need. Once again, I'm not saying Carson Wentz is the answer and he's like going to lead us to the playoffs. He might not, but I think you have to at least play him as soon as you can. Try to get to the playoffs.
You kind of hitched your wagon to him when you consumed his $28 million. So I imagine Ron's going to put him back in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and with the stuff he said earlier in the year, he's not going to be like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're going to bench you. Like I was right when I said quarterback. We're just going to go with Taylor Heinicke.
He needs to bring that statement back and say quarterback right now because quarterback is what's holding this team back right now. And I got Scott and Olivia coming on this week. I'm going to ask Scott specifically, please press Ron about Sam Howell. Ask him, is Sam Howell ready? How does Sam Howell look in practice? Ask him what Sam Howell is eating for dinner. I want you to press this man about Sam Howell because the fans want to know, bruh.
We need Scott to be the Pat Beverly of DC Media.
Like
just be on his ass. Yep. It seems that every decision Ron has made has been wrong. O-line, QB, time management. Correct. I mean, honestly, I don't disagree.
Correct.
The thing that pissed me off when he said quarterback, other teams have been able to build around it. You had Alex Smith with his leg. You had Ryan Fitzpatrick, who you signed in free agency. You were the active GM and head coach at the time. We didn't have Mayhew and all of them yet. You signed the guy on his last year with his broken hip. And then you signed Carson Wentz and what you already knew. Like people already said, oh, his career's done. This is his last chance at life in the NFL. So that was your response to oh, they have a quarterback in time to build around. Who are you going to build around?
You've had 3 years to get in the mix and trade up or go get a quarterback, bro.
Justin Fields,
I'm watching
anybody,
Justin
bro.
Fields ascending now. He's finally growing as a quarterback, despite the fact that he has nothing in Chicago. Like,
no weapons in his offensive
line.
We're
in year 3, and y'all have made no attempt to find your own franchise guy. We keep trying to put retread Band-Aids over bullet holes, and they wonder why we're in the same position every year. We are right on track and right on schedule to win 7 games again.
I feel like every offseason is just a desperate attempt at Ron to like go all in, but like it's like the Dollar General version of the Rams. Like, oh, we're going all in on Carson Wentz, on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, we were supposed to get excited about Ryan Fitzpatrick. I still can't believe that shit. I can't even believe I got somewhat hype about Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Keep that going all in energy when Roger Goodell steps on the stage and says the first round of the NFL draft is now open. Go get me Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson if he decides to come out. Go get me one of them.
At that point, I'm okay.
Bro,
I'm okay with the first
two. I need to know that there's a young quarterback here that they're going to try to build. No, first of all, I don't want Ron into making no picks next year.
That's what I'm saying.
When the new owners come here, they're going to bring in actual football people, and they're going to clean house in this joint.
They're going to be like, fuck. They're gonna pull a real Rams, like, all right, we're gonna trade the next 6 first-round picks. We're gonna trade up to number 1. We're gonna give Bryce Young. Like, they're gonna go all in. They want their franchise guy to market, go into the season with, put his face all over everything, like we're doing Heinicke right now, which is sad. They're gonna want their guy. Either Lamar Jackson's not gonna get paid, and we're gonna throw the bag at Lamar.
And nobody is off. Listen, if it comes to fruition, what it looks like. And Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z and litany of celebrities behind them, if they successfully purchase this team, nothing is off limits for this team. Nothing about the stadium, the business of the team. No executive is off limits. No coach is off limits. No player in free agency. Who not sitting at the table with Hove, bruh? Who's not sitting at the table with Jay? Like, who's
Kevin Durant? Matthew McConaughey.
Bezos is going to build the greatest football complex. I'm not even going to call it a stadium. It's going to have so much around it. Bro, who's not going to want to be a part of that, bro? We become the football apex of entertainment and business, bro. They're not going to sit around and wait 3 years to get a quarterback. No. They're going to go all in off rip. So, I mean, I need to see some aggression when this offseason comes. Go ahead and get your 7 wins like we know you're good for, Ronald Eugene Rivera. And when this season concludes, man, and when new ownership comes in, I expect a lot of parking passes, pink slips, and key cards to be turned in come season's end.
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot that's going to happen. I'm excited for. I hate to say I'm excited for the offseason because that's what we always look forward to.
That's what we live for, bro.
I thrive for the draft. But it's just, I don't think people really realize, like, as bad as Dan Snyder is, it really, people say, oh, it doesn't affect the product on the field. It really does. Like, because people don't want to come here. And like, I mean, like, sadly, like when I'm at the Senior Bowl, there's a couple of agents I've talked to. They're like, yeah, people don't like going to like working with Washington. People don't like communicating with them. Like, people don't want to come here for a reason. It's because you see the debacle with the Sean Taylor stuff last year and all the misspelling of London Fletcher. Like, that stuff matters. Like, the legacy and like actually like having something to play for.
It all starts at the top, and you got to cut the head off the snake. And we are finally a few months away from doing it, and it's going to be a celebration.
January should be done, and then March is when they're going to finalize it at the meet and whatever. But still, like this one, it felt like a win regardless because we were just at the stadium after the news. Like the mood was high, but regardless, it would have been nice to get a win.
It would have been a season-changing win. My outlook of the season changes if we finish that game versus Minnesota, because it shows me if this is the second-best team in the conference and we can beat them with Taylor Heinicke, this team may actually be able to make some noise in this conference, but we did what Washington teams normally do, and we tricked it, and we sold. So
But it is safe to say this is a good team. As much as we have shit on it in the past, dogged guys who aren't doing their job, something has clicked this season. Even like week 1 when we saw Jahan Dotson balling, Terry balling, defense getting after guys. I mean, the defense. This is the best I've seen the defensive line actually play, like as one. So at the end of the day, this is a good team, and it's being wasted for mediocre quarterback play. Whether it is Carson Wentz, Taylor Heinicke, Ryan Fitzpatrick last year, Alex Smith. Like as soon as Dwayne Haskins didn't work out, rest in peace, love him to death. You got to try again to get your franchise guy, and it should have been
nuts, man.
I mean, I wouldn't have even been mad if it was like Zach Wilson. Like, damn,
we're in year 3, and Ron hasn't taken a quarterback in the first round yet. That's a problem for me.
Let's say as soon as it didn't work out for Haskins, you should have reloaded, tried it again. But instead, he took the easy way, went the veteran way that was not going to work out. And then he says, quarterback. They got time to build around the quarterback.
The quarterback that you have not made any attempt. You called the whole goddamn NFL to try to acquire their quarterback. But on draft day, the rotary phone doesn't work.
You wanted Jimmy G. You wanted Mitch Trubisky probably and Carson Wentz, but God knows he was not going to be trading up in the draft. And I love Jahan Dotson. I love Jamin Davis. But at the end of the day, your whole team is stagnant until you have a good quarterback. So, Rio, I know you got a lot going on in the channel. Let the folks know where they can find you and what you got cooking up.
Yes, sir. I just dropped the vlog from the game yesterday. Good vibes at the stadium. Y'all go ahead and run that up, man. Catch me at Rio Robinson. Rambling with Rio is the show. And stirring the pot on social media. Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Rio_Robinson91. Always bringing the vibes. And whenever you see me and Josh or any of us at the stadium, it's always a good time. We keep the vibes immaculate. We have a good time. And despite the stadium being trash, and despite the fan experience for the majority of our life being trash, there are good people in this fan base. And there are good people within the organization. And we always have a good time with them.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like I always have a good time at the stadium, win or lose, just because I like being around the people. I love being around the team.
There was baddies at the game yesterday.
No, Minnesota brought a lot of them out.
Hey, Minnesota, I ain't even know y'all had them like that, my guy.
We got to play them away next year. But I mean, it's been a lot of fun games already this year, and there's still a ton to go to. I'm for sure going to the Falcons game. It's on the 27th. They're going to be doing some Sean Taylor thing there. At least we got a heads up. No one knows what it is. I think it's going to be a statue. At least it better be. But then how do you build a statue if you're going to probably
off camera?
We'll talk after this. I'm sure Rio got some juice. But guys, like I said, I appreciate y'all checking in. We will see y'all soon. Me and Rio might be doing a full video talking about quarterbacks. So you never know. Subscribe to his channel. We'll head over there, and we'll see y'all next time on.
And let's get Josh up to 2K ASAP.
Look, we working. At the end of the day, we grinding this thing out. This is what we love doing. So appreciate y'all checking it out. We'll see y'all later on Taking Command with Josh Taylor. See y'all later.
Left hand up.